think that I still found very challenging. And I actually did not really, or I could not come up with great ways of doing it. I did used to say, I remember that only towards the end of the class, of course in between if somebody, but I wanted to say that, look, I'm just hanging out. I always used to say that, look, I'll hang out for a couple of minutes, and if people, I mean, if they didn't have classes or anything, and I said, you could ask things, and there were always a few students who would sort of stay back at the end of the class and interact. But during the session, I was thinking, but I did not sort of engage it, or sort of bring in any other thought of how to engage with students. I think the only thing that I could think, which I've already mentioned, is to have a free session, like where anybody could come, and I had mentioned that there is no restriction of what we want to do. And I've already mentioned that I kind of the thought of doing a Viva was also motivated by that only, that look, I have had no interaction, so maybe let's have a Viva, and everybody sort of comes and gets to chat and all that. But otherwise I found it, the issue is everybody's camera is off, right? It's only my camera which is on. Mostly I used to sort of wanted to have that. And you have to imagine that, look, when I was talking live, I was talking to the screen. I was not like, now I can see both of you, right? And I can see your expression, but then I was talking to the screen, and it's like I had no idea, right, what's out there on the other side. So somehow I could not really do very well with that. Given the large class also, it was really tough, that part. Basically, what was different in a way, right? As in what positives pandemic brought about, possibly, right? How do you think? Yeah, I guess, see, the thing is, one thing which immediately comes to my mind is, and I can think of this course which we had, the DIC. I offered, I don't remember, but I think maybe very early on I offered that let's have a, weekly session which would be, open, in the sense that there was no restriction of what we talk about. And sometimes you could not, without this, you can't imagine usually doing a session at 9 o'clock every week, and people coming from the hostels, and this was just, I think, maybe easy for all, possibly easy for me in that sense also. And one could prolong it, and still be back to whatever you are doing in some sense. So I think that's those sessions I enjoyed. Initially, I think we had it on Tuesday evenings, and then we shifted it to Monday evening, and it was just talk about anything. People talked about the core, discipline itself, talked about life, philosophy, all kinds of things, which was, I think, which got facilitated partly by this kind of environment. The other thing that I can think of is that I was, although that can be definitely done otherwise also, but I was thinking of a couple of different things, that students could do. I know we couldn't do everything because of the pressures of time and all that. But for example, I wanted every student to make a video, so you are at home. But when you make a video, you can very easily show it off in these kind of, scenario, right? You make a video which was to do with, of course, to bring out some aspect of the course, but we couldn't do it anyway because of lack of time. So I think that the interaction part I really enjoyed a lot, with the students, which became really very easy to organize. I was sort of interacting initially, actually, even for my research students. Many of our research students were at home, right? And it was, you had to think of what were the best ways sort of interacting with them. And I remember one thing which happened very early on. We were working on a very ambitious project, and we thought how to sort of, now we are limited what to do. And somehow gradually we came to a realization that, okay, firstly, as I said, acceptance. And then we started to interact in a manner where we would, of course, that was existing from before, but I thought we became more effective at that, of using like Google Docs as a documentation which everybody can contribute to and share. Um, uh, that kind of a thing sort of taught us, okay, that even though we are all at different places, I mean, I'm talking about even research students working on ambitious project, and we were very limited by the fact that the students couldn't come to the lab. So we said, okay, look, maybe we need to read all that has happened in this field around the world and come up with the best possible research plan. It's like looking forward to, so let's make it all that ready, and as soon as it opens, it's like you rush into and doing those things, so that kind of a thing, you had to accept, but we worked with that energy. Meaning, what I'm trying to say is, otherwise there was no way of feeling very energetic about it. It would seem very sort of routine and boring, but to think about this way, that we are preparing when you are able to come to the campus. Okay, let's prepare and let's look forward to it, kind of. So that is, I think, that is one thing which I did. The other thing is, of course, even though I had opportunities sometimes to cook, there were times when, of course, you have house help and they would not come, so you have to kind of think of whatever you can do in the house. So you try to do that, including repairs, sometimes some little bit of repairs. And once in a while, I like to write. I mean, as in though very let's say just out amateur, you can call it amateurish, but I like to write sometimes some poetry. So I did that also, because then you are at home and you are limited. So these kind of things I write. I mean, it's like firstly knowing everybody by face, right? I mean, you have that curiosity. I mean, I did in our course, we tried to, in the beginning, I think, tried to have everybody say where they are from, maybe a little bit what they were interested, and also ask them to put on their cameras. So you would want to see, you would want to relate a name, and the face, right? And the other thing is, of course, when you are sort of in the classroom, you could literally have that interaction, when you are talking about concepts, and sometimes you see either the glow in the eyes, the disappointments, and all of that. So you can catch that, right? Where do you catch it now? I don't know whether people are disappointed. Maybe they are disappointed with what I'm saying. They are bored. They are looking at their phone. But I want to know what is happening to them when I say anything, right? So I can't see all that. And I think lastly, in that respect, there are more things, but I think it was always great that when you finished, somebody will come to you always and strike a conversation, maybe talk about what you were discussing in class or otherwise, So all of those things, the sparkle, everything, all that was missing. People who have said, some people said that, okay, see you in the campus, but that see you in the campus is not happening. It's prolonging, right? See you soon, see you in the campus, even though course is done, right? We said, okay, see you in the corridor maybe, but not happening, right? All of that. There is no doubt the answer is absolutely yes. Tired of same thing. There are no interactions, because see, for example, in my course, often, I don't know, for whatever reason, I try to think of ways, particularly when it was offline, we would have some way of physically, materials, right? Materials. So materials meaning, I always want students to have a feel. And it used to be one of the things, and I know maybe I mentioned to your batch, or I can't remember if I did, but the previous whichever offline class we had, I had given projects, and I personally was so excited, and one project I always keep mentioning because it excites me even till today, that we said, collect milk bags in your hostel. washed them up, and I gave them already 2 things to make, and they did beautifully. I said, you have to make one raincoat, and they did a raincoat out of milk bags, welded it. How beautiful it was. And they showed me a video where they were in the shower with the raincoat in the hostel. So it was too good. Right. So and the other thing was, like I said, make a pot, like maybe you can use it for planting something, and they did. And the TAs did a good job. The students were excited. They made a presentation. They put pictures, interesting pictures of how they are all gathered together. All that excitement, where was it? And you feel frustrated. So I remember in the one of the last day, probably in their class, I couldn't keep that, and I had thought, I know it's like very limited, but I showed them things. I think, I don't know whether you were there. So I tried. Normally in the offline mode, I would make groups, I would train TAs, and I would pass on things. Feel it, whereas without the feeling. So I would want them to feel, touch, ask by seeing, touching, and all that. Nothing was happening, right? So it's that way. Very frustrating. Of course, finally you have to accept it. You see, if you don't accept, then there's a big problem. So acceptance is the key. And I guess your previous question, when you asked, maybe that is what you will end up learning. You said, now I remember that at the end of it, you have to start building more acceptance within yourself. So I think that may be something that will develop out of this. But you end up, accepting things, I guess. But it was, it was very difficult actually that way. I think one thing which some of us have talked about, some colleagues, that look, we are being selfish as faculty members. We are living in campus and we are not letting you come in. Right? Now, why I say this is that being in campus at least helped, because I had heard that in society sometimes there were restrictions. Here, at least as long as you are following the protocol, there was no restriction to go out in the campus. So that itself helps. That helped, right? And then sometimes you would want to, because you are also, mostly there were restrictions earlier. You are confined, but you would, maybe talk to people whom sort of, whom you can feel comfortable, and still people were always available in that way. Somehow you could always reach out even if you can't travel. I'm saying even distance, right? Nobody ever used to imagine doing these, like video, whatever, like how we are doing. And even till today, sometimes I forget that this is a medium possible. I have friends somewhere, maybe I can talk to them even if I can't travel. So I think only people, it's always people which kind of motivates you a lot more than anything else, these interactions, So I think mostly that is what we tried to do. Actually, I had COVID very early on. I say I was the opening batsman for IIT Bombay among the faculty. So I had a very tough time. That was last year, and again to be confined, all of that. But I think it's just the interactions, people interacting with people and sharing some of your whatever, the good and the bad, or whatever the happinesses and the sadnesses and all of that. I think just keeps you motivated. And by the way, sometimes, when you see that there are people in far more difficult situations than you, also motivates. I have seen, of course, I have also, I would be very real. I have seen both parts of it. In our times, of course, there was nothing like this, and for most of the people. So I remember those parts, and thinking of, my student life, it would be actually quite frustrating. And I know we have talked about among the faculty members that how hard it is for students to be spending these months and months together away from campus, missing. And it's not just the physical campus. The campus is basically everything about being with your friends, your classmates, those lighter moments, explorations, and talking about variety of things, and being able to see, your body languages. Everything is missing. So I would honestly, when you said how would you be, firstly definitely bring me a lot of frustration, I think, uh, of being unable to do anything in that sense. What do you do? But I guess what may happen, what may come out positively, which I don't know, but I'm guessing that it may bring some sense of, maybe the word is, so be patient, develop some kind of patience, and maybe also the ability to try to deal with different situations, which when you had a very normal life, you were just always, not having such challenges. Okay. And again, I think there are maybe, learning a better way of communicating. Like, I can sometimes communicate far more easily when I am offline, but maybe it would have helped me to learn in some way, overcome my shyness maybe, and try to reach out to people, because there's no other way. So I must, push myself to try to, like, I had one student who called me from your batch only, from the class, and I can't remember his name right now, because I interacted with so many, but he called me primarily to say that he's thinking of ways of how to bring out the students who are more shy and facilitate more interaction, and I really like that. I hope it, worked, and he was trying to think of ways of doing that. So I think maybe some of the things that yeah, I would have felt were like what I said. And how do I manage to take out that? See, one of my and you are, I suppose I remember you are representing NSS, right? So I have some, of course, very close sort of connection in that way, that one of my hobbies, you can call it, or passion maybe, other than what I do in IIT, is to work with children. I love working with children, making them think, telling them stories, engaging in discussions with children, teaching them spoken English, and I don't know whether you know, but we had been running libraries around IIT campus in the slums here. There were about 5 libraries earlier, but as of now, 2 of them are operative, which are operated by these ladies from the community. And every Sunday pre-pandemic, I used to be there interacting with children in one of these places. So I just love this. And I know it sounds crazy maybe, but one of the things which I've always, shared with people when I get to, is that, and I always say it sounds very odd to maybe to others, but I don't know why. But I would love to actually, if I had the time, and if I were to, let's say, imagine I retire or whatever, move away from IIT, I would actually open a daycare center. I love being with children, infants, and the innocence and everything. I just kind of get carried away. It's so beautiful. Of course, besides the emotional part, I always think that if you want to make, better citizens in a country, the best way is to start early. And just like maybe students at IIT, they would love to interact with, let's say, the teachers. Many times I have seen, particularly in the underprivileged sections of the society, they lack interactions with people, who could spark some newer thoughts in their minds, because they are more into the conventional thing. Tuition is very common, going to tuition in very early classes. So they are just programmed that way, that okay, scoring marks. But they don't, I felt, like I told you, I used to go to those libraries, those children would come and want to engage. And you could see that hunger in them of wanting to interact. So I love that, I just I love working with children. I love thinking about how can I get to engage with younger and younger people. That doesn't mean I don't like to interact with IIT students at that level, but that's the other thing, as you said. And of course, in terms of how do I take out time? See, when you are passionate about something, you just manage your time. I think that's the best way of thinking about it. There is no way of saying that, look, I am busy and I have no time. You like it and you manage it. That's all. of course, department you always like your own, but that is more professional. But I like the. I mean, and I think many people will like it. I like the lakeside area. So, whether it's cycling along, walking along, jogging along. I remember during my BTech days also jogging along that part. One part which is now not accessible is, there's this, the Vihar Lake access used to be there in our BTech days, and between the pipelines there's a road. We used to jog on that road. That is out of bound now. And we would, go on that hill which is right next to the Vihar Lake, which is also officially, out of bound. But then there is this Samir Hill, and that's really a great place also. I enjoyed that part, and the boat club side also. That area. So I mean, I think these three parts are just lovely. Although campus overall is so nice to walk around, but these three parts I would like to keep frequenting. Whenever sort of possible. Memorable in terms of memorable experiences, couple of them, of course, that I remember. For example, I often have this thing about giving a post mid-sem one talk, which is a broader kind of a theme. Maybe it motivates people, and so based on that, there were interactions which happened, and they were interesting. I think people had some philosophical questions in the open session. That was quite interesting. The other thing was that because of this situation, I was thinking hard that how do I engage students in a different way, which was, I felt it was possible in the offline mode. And what came to my mind among other assignments was this idea that engineering is all about finding a problem. Okay, find a problem. Everything begins from identifying a problem correctly. It's easier to find a solution, but it's more difficult to find a problem. And I enjoyed interacting on that respect also with students. And I know because of lack of time, we couldn't have the presentation, and I couldn't share my excitement of reading some of the assignments which got submitted. But during the class, I think that was interesting. And also, in the end, I think the students were very sweet to have that, like when we were ending our class, people had kind of this display of whatever, some signage which just, had a thank you note or something, just showering of love. It was so amazing from the entire class when I'm thinking of the last semester. So I think that I can't forget. It was so beautiful, so nice, So yeah, and one more thing, sorry, I forgot. And we did vivas as well. And when we did vivas, the reason why it was so enjoyable was, firstly, we had small groups. Okay, we could come face to face. So at least there was a opportunity to chat with everybody. Although we were chatting about the course, but we could have some lighter moments, during the viva, and how to pass on the questions from one person to another and confuse them a little more was also quite enjoyable. Have one thing which came out of meeting this person, and I don't know if I've shared earlier, but there was this person, T.N. Seshan. He was one of those election commissioners who initiated the electoral reforms. And I won't make the story long, but he said something which struck me, and in response to a student question who was with me, he said that basically the student was asking almost similar question. Sir, can you please advise us? And you should look up T.N. Seshan sometime later on, Seshan. Okay, but the student, MTech student, was asking that, sir, can you please advise us what we should do? He was very mad. If you read about him, you will see his personality. He got very angry. He said, you are studying in your master's program, you have no clue what you want to do and all that. He went on. But then he said a beautiful thing when he calmed down. He said that whatever you choose to do in life, whatever, that's up to you. but never accept to be below excellent or never be below excellence. Try to excel in whatever you do. And I loved it. I mean, it may sound, oh, who doesn't know it? But the way he said it, my imagination started going there. That if I'm sweeping the floor, if I'm serving food, like we think of always high tech, right? I'm going to be the hero, I'm going to make these breakthroughs. But I'm saying those are fine. But when you're doing simple things also, can we excel? And the imagination ran through my mind. Imagine in the country, if everybody got this message, everybody, I mean, a large number of people, the country would transform. Everybody wants to excel, right? Everything would look beautiful, clean. You would have never complaints. Government offices excel, right? Whatever you do, excel in it. So that was beautifully expressed, and coming from that person. So I don't know. Maybe I can't convey exactly. Hearing from that person was so impactful. So that is one thing. Pursue excellence. Okay, you are not interested in the core, whatever you are interested in. Like I tell students, you are missing from the class. I hope you are creating something. Okay? I hope you are creating something and excelling at it. I want to see your name somewhere in that. This is one. Second thing, quickly I'll add, and then maybe I'll stop. I was, was abroad in the US, and after many years, I did my PhD there. I was visiting, and a lot of small things happened, which made me realize one thing, that sometimes in the developed world, you can actually feel that phrase: celebrate life. You're alive. Celebrate life. In the sense, I'm not meaning partying that way. Celebrate moments, celebrate doing things, celebrate learning. Like I always say, learning is important. I kept repeating in the class. Grades are a byproduct. Learning is primary. But celebrate learning. You're learning, you're growing by learning. Celebrate it. So celebrate moments, every moment, what you're doing, enjoy it and celebrate it, and never accept to be not pursuing excellence. Pursuit of excellence, very important. Whatever you do in life. We are not going to say and tell you, and we are not going to be so rigid about it. You are here to get trained. Celebrate life and pursue excellence. That's it.